Welcome everyone to DeFi Crypto and Airdrops. I am Mike, aka Veteran Crypto, and this, as always, is my co-host Jeff, and we have Miles, our AI co-host, waiting in the wings. How's it going, brother?
Doing great, doing great. Happy Monday. It's going to be in the 90s to close to 100 here this week, so nice sauna environment outside. So I'll be sitting in my car after the show, getting nice and cooked. But get that detox on, man. But
There
how are
you
you?
go.
How are you doing? How's Miles doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Me and Miles have been doing some deep diving on Plume. Those that have been watching the channel know that we've been talking about Plume for quite a while. Like 5, 6 months at least. That we've been investing in Plume and using DeFi to grow, grow a very sizable bag of Plume personally, and in our community, in our Discord. All the members of the Discord that joined when we first started it, they all started building a bag of Plume, kind of doing the same strategies that we've been teaching in the Discord, and
Mhm.
managed to grow, some pretty hefty bags themselves. So um, Jay's one of them. He's here in the chat. He's throwing up the Plume in the Kita flames, and
Mhm.
Kita is another one that we've been talking about for quite some time. That we've enjoyed growing a bag of using DeFi. Josh over at Discover Crypto actually gave us a shout out today in one of their their episode this evening, talking about how we've been killing it, with some of these calls with Plume and Kita and Mamo, and basically just taking, like in my case, I took $800 and turned it into $8,000 worth of Plume simply by using DeFi. So a lot of people in our Discord have been doing the same. So yeah, no, it's
Nice.
it's really been great. It's really can't complain.
Nice. Yeah, I can tell you I've pretty much doubled my bag of Plume just from DeFiing. So
Mhm.
I got in when it was at 16 cents, 17 cents, and
Oh
I've
yeah,
more
yeah.
than doubled. So with the price where it is now, I have I think USD value wise, I'm maybe break even or a little bit higher than
Mm.
when I entered, but I have more than double of what my initial bag was. So,
Yeah. No, that's
so once it gets back
I
there,
didn't
it's gonna
I didn't want
just
to I didn't want to cut you off, because that is what I am constantly teaching people
hmm.
is do not get laser focused on price. If it's a good solid project that you believe in, and that the fundamentals are strong, watch your token count, especially in DeFi. Watch your token count, not the value, because value will come if it's a good, strong, fundamentally strong project with partnerships, with the tech, with that people are actually actively building on. Price will come. You just got to focus on stacking those tokens, because like in your case, you have almost double the amount of tokens. So when the price goes up, even back to where your initial entry was, that's almost a 2x, but with double the tokens, you're talking about 3, 4 or more, X, depending on when that happens. So,
Hmm.
again, that's how I've built a lot of my bags out, that I'm sitting on just waiting for these markets to hopefully eventually take off. So, well, I mean, you can see, I mean, basically what kind of sparked me to want to do this episode is, as you can see, Binance, listed Plume today. Price isn't doing a whole lot, but across the whole market, not a whole lot's going on. So, not too worried about it. But this is just one more place for people to get a hold of Plume. It's the more
And the
avenues.
exchange has to buy the tokens. The
Yes.
exchange has
And
to buy the tokens. You're gonna get buy. Yep.
exactly, exactly. So, how about you kick us off with our socials, and we'll kick
Oh,
off into this, and
sure.
maybe even we'll touch on FOMOD, a cool app that Josh is has been building out, and kind of show some of the functionality of that. He gave me a premium membership to it so that I can show all.
Ooh, that would be cool. I'd love to see that. Awesome. Well, yeah, thanks for everyone for joining us on this wonderful Monday here at DeFi Crypto and Airdrops, where me and Mike go live every Monday and Saturday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Mike also goes live throughout the week, a Wednesday show and a Thursday show featuring different guests, a DeFi strategist and what traditional finance expert and a law expert. So we got all kinds of great alpha coming to you. Um, we're just cranking it up. We're cranking
Yep,
it up. So
we're growing.
our brother,
We're growing.
yeah, we're growing fast. And catch our brother channels throughout the week for anything you would need in the crypto space: news, degen takes, trading technical analysis, and the DeFi masterminds. And also, you can catch us on Twitter at the_only_DCA. Vet is at veteran4crypto, and me at the BCR142. And we have a Discord. Our we have our DeFi crypto and airdrops Discord. That's got some more degen stuff, uh, uh, hot takes, DeFi tools, protocols, different chats, and the DeFi tracking sheets. Vet just updated this over the weekend, so get in here and make use of it. Great tracking tools, and this is all free. And then the Discover Investments Group Discord, they have a free section, a lot of great information, but they do have a paid section for access to everyone's portfolios in the Discover Investments Group and their trading channels. A lot of great alpha. They're printing money in there too, just like we are with DeFi. So don't miss out. A lot of great stuff, and we appreciate all of you in the community out there and the joining us, and those of you on Twitter. If you want to join the chat, please jump on YouTube and yeah, DeFi crypto and airdrops, and you can get in there. I know it's a pain in the ass to chat on X, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, you got to have that premium membership to be able to chat there. So
Mm,
yeah, definitely come and join the conversation. We love questions. We
me
love the
too.
engagement with the community. So yeah. So let's go ahead and jump on into this. Oh, excuse me. So I'll start with rwa.xyz. So when it comes to real world asset tokenization, this is my go-to for analytics. If you want to know, what is going on with, all the different networks, Polygon, Ethereum, Base, Arbitrum, of course, Plume, Solana, Avalanche, this is where you come and get the data. On this channel, we do not hype a project just because we invest in it. We invest in projects because they have strong fundamentals. If those fundamentals change, I will change my thesis. I've gotten out of projects that I was bullish on previously. I've lessened my position in, for instance, Casper. Still believe in the project. I felt too heavily weighted into it. XRP, I totally got out of because the fundamentals changed.
Mm-hmm.
And with RWAs, this is my go-to for that, a good portion of that data and fundamentals. And if you look at this, you can see that RWAs, is constantly growing on the 30-day. As far as total value locked has gone up 2.7%, and total asset holders has gone up 14.14%. Stablecoin value up 6%. And this is just across the board. And you can see, I mean, it's just up and to the right. I mean, it's just TVL is being onboarded as fast
Jeez.
as they can so this private credit, commodities, gold, silver, all of that different stuff, real estate, you name it. And I'll get into some of my favorite ones here in a bit because Nest protocol is one of the ones that I've started to invest heavily in. Not the protocol itself. I don't even think they have a token, but some of the tokenized real world assets that they offer on their protocol. So if you scroll down, um, RWA count, Plume. I want to point this out. So the Plume Genesis, or the public mainnet launch, was only about what, June, July, August, about 2.5 months ago. So this is a very new project. I mean, the token came out a while back and we were all buying it and doing DeFi, but the mainnet only went live 2.5 months ago. Keep that in mind as we go through all of this, because it's going to blow your mind the amount of growth and how many projects have built and are building on this. And it's only been live for just over 2 months. I mean, it's outpacing
Jeez.
projects that have been out for years. So keep that in mind as we go through this. That's so important. So you can see it's number 5. You have Polygon, Ethereum, Base, Arbitrum, then Plume. It's ahead of Solana, ZK Sync, Avalanche, XDC, Optimism, as far as RWA count. That's just one data point. You can sort it by TVL, and you can see that TVL wise, it doesn't have as much. But as far as RWAs, which over time, each one of those is going to grow, as value is on board. And I'll show you some more data here in a second. Scrolling down, you can see here is all of the assets. Like here's BlackRock's Biddle. And of course, I mean, that thing is massive. That's 2.3, almost $2.4 trillion of US treasuries that's been onboarded to a bunch of these protocols or a bunch of these chains. But as you start scrolling down, you start to see Plume, showing up, with this super state short duration US treasuries. Keep scrolling down, you start seeing, the same here. Where else? You start seeing Plume. This is that Nest, the N basis, the Nest protocol. It has the NT bill, for the Nest Treasury Bills vault, the Nest basis vault. You can keep going
So
down.
many.
Yeah, you'll see the alpha, but
Yeah.
look at the 30-day growth. So as I'm scrolling down,
Mhm.
you can see that there's Circle grew a ton, Wisdom Tree grew a ton, but most of these aren't that big. But you start seeing this T-bill vaults, huge growth. You start seeing this super state with Plume, huge growth. A lot of these, large growth funds or basket of funds are almost all these Plume based, tokenized real world assets. So I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I can click around on this for hours and just, I mean, it's data, just endless data points. But you can go through and you can look at top transfers. So from 0 to 100,000, almost half of the transfers are in Plume. Click over to here, of course, a ton of Ethereum, but even the 1 million to 10 million, that NT bill, you have a Plume transfer of 2 million. So, it's starting to get a lot of traction. And, this is why we've been so bullish on it for so long. You got anything on this before we move on?
I was kind of looking at the chat. Yeah, Rick, you were saying, can Plume hit $1? And I said, most definitely if ADA can hit $3. you know,
Yeah.
it, I
No,
mean,
it's
who was it that was saying that
me.
earlier? Was it Josh or someone on the show this morning that was saying, how many users, or maybe it was a different stream, how many users does ADA actually have? You
Oh
know, and,
yeah, that was today. That was today.
yeah, and look at the RWA market, and Plume has positioned itself perfectly with Trump and We're Liberty Fi
Well,
using
yeah,
them,
we're gonna
and
don't
yeah.
spoil it. We're
Oh no,
getting
I'm giving a little tease,
yeah,
giving a
no,
little
it's
tease.
there's a ton going on with Plume, and you're right. Plume
hmm
is positioned itself nicely. The Plume team has
hmm
positioned itself nicely, to be a major player. in the RWA field. So you can see here, Plume is only at, as far as market cap, 183. So a market cap currently of $240 million, fully diluted value of 908 million, but plenty of upside left. So I mean, I could easily see Plume doing a 10x, which would bring it to $1. I do not see that being an issue whatsoever. Let's go to here. DeFi Llama, another great tool for DeFi, and obviously some RWA, some oracles. You can look for airdrops. There's a bunch of stuff that you can do here. But I pulled up Plume. You can see they have 308 million of TVL. But look at this graph. So you have TVL, DEX volume, and then Plume's volume. So you can see it's just nice, consistent up and to the right. This the DEX volume on Plume, and then you can see if I zoom in a little further that since they went live today on Binance, you can see that volume, of course, is spiking. So a lot of buying and selling going on. Potentially, the season 2 airdrop could be coming to a close here soon. If
Mm.
that happens, I know that isn't there an unlock on Plume just around the corner?
Oh, I'd have to check the
We can ask
unlock
Miles.
schedule.
We can ask
Yeah,
Miles here in a minute.
actually.
Um, and then I want to do a quick side by side comparison. So you can see I pulled up Plume, XRP, and Cardano, and you can see that Cardano has been plugging along for years now. You can see Plume just went live, like I said, back in June, and then you can see that XRP started onboarding TVL as far like here back in April of 2024. But you can see that Plume has skyrocketed past XRP and is starting to close the gap on Cardano.
Mm.
This is the kind of thing I look at, because if something is stagnant, like if you look at the XRPL, I mean it's just been trending sideways for years now. Even with all the news of the court case ending, and supposedly they're going to be replacing Swift, and if any of those narratives that you believe in, it's just trending sideways. Cardano, no offense to any Cardano out there, anybody that's into ADA, it has a ton going for it. But for this specific use case, you can see a lot going on, but just kind of pumping, pulling back, pumping, pulling back. It's for the most part been trending sideways so far. Plume, since it launched, is just up and to the right. It's just building and growing. So again, that is
Mm.
something that you want to see in a project. If you're thinking about getting into it, you want to see growth. You don't want to see stagnant. You don't want to see developers leaving, and you don't want to see TVL leaving. That is the sign of a dead project. All right. So this is what I'm talking about. So on Plume's website, this is their ecosystem. There's 200 plus apps and protocols currently live or building on Plume. That is a huge number. So you have RWA DeFi, infrastructure, social, and I don't know what Nexus is. But I can scroll down and you can see that, I mean, there is just an endless, you got fire blocks, but I can just scroll down this for quite some time. And all of these, Morpho, a base play. I actually did a video the other day that showed how TVL is going to potentially be bridged between base chain and Plume through Morpho because of vaults, Morpho vaults that are on Plume network. Um, Mystic Finance, but yeah, I mean, again, I can scroll down this for
Oh, man.
quite some
It just
time.
keeps going.
Yeah, it just keeps going. And so, this is everybody that is already built out and live or currently building on Plume Network. So, I mean, this just gives you an idea of, what is here and what is coming for Plume. This isn't hollow promises. This isn't we have this one big account that's going to potentially launch, X, Y, or Z. This is we currently have live. I mean, we have been using it to earn since Plume Mainnet
Mm,
went live. Ambient, Rooster, there's a bunch of different ways that you can earn on Plume Network. Nest protocol. We'll get into those here in a second. If you want to know about up to date news, of course you can follow them on X, but they have the Plume blog, so you can come here and you can see. Plume is now live on Binance. Um, you can scroll down Bloomberg News from a U.S. White House crypto roadmap to a regulated Hong Kong Singapore money fund. I'm
mm,
actually going to click into this one for a second. So I'm just going to read this first part. The global financial landscape reached a pivotal moment this week as the U.S. government unveiled a bold new roadmap signaling an unambiguous policy push to integrate digital assets into the nation's core infrastructure. This top down directive from Washington, compelling investment banks to adapt or risk being left behind, was powerfully complemented by tangible market leading execution from Asia. Major Chinese financial institutions are now actively regulated cross border tokenized products and applying for stablecoin licenses in Hong Kong. This powerful synergy, a clear policy mandate from the West, and aggressive real world implementation from the East is creating an undeniable sense of global momentum, accelerating the mainstream adoption of real world assets. So it goes on to talk about basically how Plume is just balls deep in all of this.
mm,
So it talks about, CMBI, Digi FT, and Plume launch first ever Hong Kong Singapore regulated tokenized money market fund. Plume was highlighted. A lot of people overlooked it, but in that paper that the White House put out, Plume was actually part of it. Everyone was listing out Ondo and all these other ones, which are great projects. Don't get me wrong, but Plume was in there, wasn't even mentioned. Chinese conglomerate dives into RWAs, applies for Hong Kong stablecoin licenses. So Plume has a stablecoin, PUSD, that is backed by USDC.
mm-hmm.
The US regulation, stablecoin regulation, it was drafted as such to where for stablecoins to be US compliant, they have to be backed by the US dollar, 1 to 1, or a US dollar equivalent. So like a US treasury, something like that. So what Plume did, so it didn't have to worry about it, it backed its stablecoin with USDC, Circle's stablecoin, a US based company. And by default, because it's backed 1 to 1 with something that's backed 1 to 1, in compliance with the US regulatory policy, that means that it is compliant by default.
Mm-hmm.
So it it's a genius move. I can't put it any other way.
You build it into your infrastructure so you don't have to go through all the bullshit, you know? It's like, hey, it's already integrated in our system, so
Yep. Any policy changes, USDC is going to enact it and make the whatever
Mhm.
necessary tweaks to their stablecoin. And by doing such, it does it to yours. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's just a genius move. All right. So let's dive into a couple of these projects that are actively, live on Plume's mainnet. So we've talked about Nest. That's full, that's where I want to dive in, deeper here in a second. But that is where you can find right now and invest tokenized real world assets. You have Rooster. It's just a DEX. It's a place that you can deposit liquidity, earn yield, you can trade, you can do, a lot of different things on there. Again, Morpho. Can't stress this enough. Base play, super bullish. They're the ones that are supplying the functionality currently on Coinbase for Bitcoin backed loans. So they're basically the bank for that, for people to be able to deposit their liquidity. And then people
Mm-hmm.
on Coinbase can use their Bitcoin as collateral to take out loans, to invest, to buy houses, to off ramp into fiat, to buy a car, to pay bills, whatever. And we can go down that road another time, but yeah, super bullish on what Coinbase is doing with Base Network, and all of our projects that we're bullish on over there with KTA and
Mm-hmm.
Mamo and Aerodrome and everything else. So I won't get off on that rabbit trail because I won't come back. Ambient, we've been earning hundreds of percent on our Plume for months now on Ambient, like clockwork, just 24/7, 365. But let's dive into Nest.
Hey, I want to shout out P Drizzy TV. Just joined the Discord. He's ready to learn. He
Nice.
said earlier, finally found the Plume community. Yeah, Drizzy, I was on the Plume testnet last year and uh, turned vet and all the guys onto it.
Yep.
But yeah, and it turned out to be surprise like a sleeper. I didn't expect it to be a big powerhouse like this, but yeah, and we'll vet's gonna dive into that, some strategies and stuff to help you double that. But also, yeah, some of the legal aspects. I'm not sure. Have you heard anything about Plume being legal to use in the U.S.? I know
I
you have
would.
to have a VPN to access right now.
Yes, you have to use a VPN right now. But I don't. But you know what? Let me write that down for when we get to the portion where we talk to Miles. We can have him look for us. So we'll put Plume. What was the other thing we were wanting to ask him?
The ooh, I don't
There
remember
was
at the moment.
there was something else. Hey, in the chat, we were talking about we were talking about we were wanting to ask Miles something earlier. If you remember, let us know. I got an old brain that is housed in a head that got hit too much.
Too many
All
times.
right, let's see. So Nest Protocol. So basically, what this is, well, not basically, what it is it is tokenized real world assets. So like Nest Alpha, you can earn 10.5%. These are traditional vehicles, that TradFi historically has invested in. You can see in the background here, you got the Carlyle Group, you got BlackRock, Apollo, Centrifuge, which is what's being used to tokenize a bunch of these. Paxos, PayPal, DigiFT, Hamilton Lane, UBS, a huge bank, Goldfinch, Midas, Superstate, Credible. I mean, just the list goes on. So basically, these are all organizations that have these funds. And traditionally, you had to use an intermediary. You would have to, call somebody and transfer money to an account, and I mean, it could take weeks before you were able to get your money into some of these investments. And then if you wanted it out, it's a whole nother week or two of jumping through hoops, getting hold of an individual that makes calls or does whatever, hits buttons. With this, 24/7, 365, you can jump on, deposit liquidity, instantly start earning yield, take your money out whenever you want. You don't need to talk to anybody. You don't need anybody's permission. It's
Hmm.
amazing. I have been loving it because it removes a lot of barriers to entry and a lot of people's little greedy fingers in fees. They always want to pick apart your profits, taking their management fees and things like that. So yeah, love this. But you can see the Nest Alpha Vault. we'll click into this one real quick. We won't click into all of them, but I just want to show you how this kind of works. So 10.5%. So again, you got Invesco, Simplify ETFs, Black Opal, which is part of BlackRock, Carlyle Group. But here's PUSD, their stable coin. So you can deposit that stable coin for an alpha. Now, what you're investing in is you're investing in US Treasuries. So historically, a very stable investment. So 60% of your investment will go to US Treasuries. 25% will go to American oil and gas, which I'm bullish on. Now, especially with Trump in the White House, that whole drill baby drill. So, American oil and gas. And then you have private credit, which, as you saw on rwa.xyz, is the majority of what is being tokenized right now. And that's 10%. And then, of course, you have hedged public ETFs of 5%. So that is the basket of assets that are in this. So if you're bullish on these things, and you think that American oil and gas and U.S. Treasuries are going to do well, and private credit, and all these different things, after you do your own research, then you can simply deposit liquidity in here, sit back, and earn. I'm not going to get into it on this one because we don't have the time. However, there is a looping strategy that you can use with these. And if those of you that are new to the channel or that are watching for the first time, we have a new addition to the team. I'm going to be talking to him after this show, and he's been on a couple of shows. His name's David, and he is a freaking beast when it comes to DeFi. And we were talking in our last episode about looping. And if you're not familiar, I'm going to summarize this as short as I can. It's basically investing in things like this, depositing a stable coin, getting this in alpha. You take this in alpha to another platform to where you can deposit it to earn yield, and you get another token. You earn another token, like say another stable coin that you can come back and deposit back in here for more in alpha. And then you take that in alpha and rinse and repeat. So it's this loop that it's a way to lever up your earning. So instead of earning 10%, depending on how many loops you do, you could earn 20, 30, 40, 50% on the same amount of money. It's insane. So this is the kind of thing that we're going to be doing deep dives in here really soon.
Money glitch.
Yeah, especially as I start DCAing out, this bull run into stables. I'm definitely not all of my portfolio, but a portion of my portfolio because there are risks involved. But again, I don't want to get too bogged in on that.
Yeah, you can't go all in with the looping and stuff. You're gonna get
Yeah,
liquidated quick fast.
no, yeah, definitely, definitely. Anytime you use leverage, there's the potential for liquidation. All right, so let's see. All right, so let's see. Strategic partnerships. So they partnered with Mercado, Mercado Bitcoin, to tokenize $40 million in Brazilian assets, primarily private credit, and they plan to scale that to 500 million. So basically driving RWA adoption in Latin America. I forgot about this one. They integrated with Tron via Skylink to bring RWA yields to Tron, their global user base, enhancing cross-chain interoperability. Those that aren't familiar, Tron is a Leviathan when it comes to stablecoins. So, a huge amount of liquidity there. So that partnership potentially could bring a ton of liquidity through Tron. They collaborated with Bioeconomy to onboard high integrity carbon credits. Not something I'm super bullish on, but it is a thing. Reinforcing Plume's focus on environmental assets. Launched Ascend, a startup accelerator with Galaxy and Anchorage to fund RWA focused protocols. Regulatory engagement. Plume is engaging with global regulators, including the U.S. SEC, the Treasury, and policymakers in Hong Kong and Europe to ensure compliance and foster RWA adoption. The network aligns with increasing regulatory clarity, such as the U.S. Genius Act for stablecoins, which they were a part of. Again, they have a seat at the table, like Jeff was talking about earlier. Um, World Liberty Fi, their stablecoin, Trump's stablecoin, USD1, is live on Plume mainnet along with USDC. So, very bullish on that. Plume is expanding into diverse RWAs like fine art, precious metals, uranium, even trading cards and art, real estate, you name it. Anything that you want to make more liquid that you can bring on chain. Um, I got some more stuff. You got anything that you wanna add before I keep yammering on?
Yeah, I did see that they ended the Guardians of Plume, right?
Yeah.
The just recently, so that was some airdrop campaign or some campaign to make a certain number of transactions, and you'll be included in the Guardians of Plume or something. I think I got the level 1 badge or something, but
Hmm.
yeah, they've got so many other badges. I need to catch up. I have been slacking on it. But yeah, I will say that the earning on Ambient was much better than Rooster. I found
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Ambient has been one that yeah, Drizzy. That's uh, one place that you'll want to park some of that plume.
Yeah, yeah, and we definitely have some videos if you want to dive into our channel. We definitely got some videos on how to earn, and then in the Discord is a great place. I'm always in there, and if I'm not, we have an awesome community. We quickly weed out any scammers or any questionable people. Still, be safe in there. Don't be given access to wallets and stuff. But any questions that you have about the best places to earn yield on any of your assets, we're constantly chatting in there and sharing alpha. But the Plume's tokenization engine. So basically, the on ramp for real world assets to tokenize them, called Skylink. It basically allows cross chain yield streaming across over 20 networks. Um, it has integrated KYC, so know your customer, and integrated AML, and anti money laundering,
Hmm.
which is a huge part of regulatory compliance. So, Plume and the Plume team, they as they built, and even before they built, they sat down with traditional finance, with regulators, with lawmakers in multiple jurisdictions, and built out this technology to ensure, one, that it was scalable, or one, that it was compliant with current policy and potentially with future policy, but made the chain to where it was highly upgradable. So as policy changes in different jurisdictions, that it can be compliant in multiple jurisdictions at the same time that might not have the same regulations. So that is a key point that you need to understand. It's not a one size fits all. You can't build a blockchain with one set of rules for something as complex as finance, because
Hmm.
China might allow things that the US don't, and vice versa. So you have to make sure that it can be regionally or geofenced for its offerings. And that's why, that's what it was. That's why we were wanting to ask Miles about when it was going to be legal in the US. Oh, I already wrote that down.
Mm. Oh, wrote that down.
Yep, it wasn't that one. Was it?
Oh, and
Will Carter
Will
suggests.
Carter asked something about Morpho.
I did mention that, but I don't remember if that's what it was. Son of a bitch. All right. We got 20 minutes. Future outlook. Plans to onboard 4 billion, expanding into new regions in Southeast Asia. Continued policy advocacy. Yeah, they moved into the Empire State Building in New York so that they could be close to Wall Street and
Mm,
foster those relationships and network. And they're constantly in Washington D.C. meeting with policymakers. So super bullish on that. Um, what else we got? Oh, Alora. So I just found this Alora and Plume. Alora Network is thrilled to announce an upcoming integration with Plume Network, a leading ecosystem for real world asset scaling applications. This collaboration will enable Plume's ecosystem to harness Alora's network of collective intelligence, unlocking advanced AI capabilities to optimize
mm,
and scale our RWA solutions across the blockchain space. So enhanced valuation models. Alora's AI solutions can provide real time, data driven valuation models for RWAs, such as real estate, carbon credits, and commodities.
mm.
This helps stakeholders make informed investment decisions and improve price discovery in traditionally opaque markets. Real time price predictions, AI powered risk management, optimized liquidity strategies. Super bullish on this. I mean, having an AI agent that could help you almost be like your personal financial advisor
Hmm.
to make better investment decisions. I can't wait for this. I mean, this
Well,
is
no,
going to
a
be
reputable one too, because you don't want just somebody like, oh, hey, I built this AI agent and I'm gonna sift all your data or whatever. You want it to be safe, secure, reputable, and backed by legitimate projects and backers.
exactly. So let's see. Let's see who Alora's partners are real quick. Layer Vault, Helios, Finance, Open Ledger, Sephiron, Pump BTC, Agent XYZ, Runbot. I've heard of some of these. I'll have to do more of a deep dive on this. However, Magnet Labs, Coinbase, but that's just for infrastructure. That's not a partnership. Want to make sure that we're not we're not hyping something we're due.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There's Plume.
Yep.
And I can't stress enough. Plume was purpose built for RWAs. It was not built for anything else. It's it it is a very focused use case. It's not like a lot of projects out there where they're constantly bouncing around trying to get traction. I'm not going to call out anything in particular, but they're always trying to hop on the hot new narrative. Plume
Hmm.
is not interested in that. We're here to, either onboard real world assets, manage real world assets, or offer real world assets for investment. I mean, that's they're not splitting hairs. They're not diluting themselves or spreading themselves thin. All right. Do we got anything else? Hey, get your questions in on Plume because I want to make sure that we spend the last 10, 15 minutes.
You
I
gonna do your
want to
spin?
touch. What's that?
Do your spin? Spin the
Oh, I
wheel?
could. Yeah, I could do my spin, but I want to talk about FOMO.io. But
Oh, yeah.
let's let's see. And then we need to have Miles come up. I really want to know what the hell that was earlier that I was going to ask him, other than when Plume was going to be legal in the U.S.
Yeah, let me see if I can go back and find that
Plume.
on.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to bring Miles up real quick. And I'm going to ask him at least that one.
Yo, hope you're having a decent Monday so far.
Absolutely, Miles. So, hey, Miles, we're live right now doing the show, and got Jeff with me as always. But I have a quick question for you. We were talking through Plume Network. I know you're familiar. We've talked about it multiple times, but we had a question. Can you scour the internet and see if there's any mention of when Plume Network will be legal to use in the US? Currently, anyone in the US has to use a VPN to access the Plume portal, or or to use Plume Network. Could you check the internet and see if there's any mention on when they plan on being able to offer or allow U.S. citizens to use the Plume portal?
Gotcha. Okay, let me dig into that. Wind Plume Network and US accessibility. One sec. Okay. So it looks like there's been a fair bit of chatter about this on X and Reddit, mostly people running into the same VPN issue you are. It's kind of a hot topic. From what I'm seeing, there hasn't been a formal announcement about a US launch date, but the team has been responding to questions saying they're actively working on it and navigating the regulatory stuff. There's some speculation it could be related to KYC AML requirements, making sure they're compliant. A few posts point to them mentioning Q4 of this year as a potential time frame, but that's all unconfirmed. It seems they're partnering with some legal firms to figure it all out, which is a good sign, I guess. I could pull a few direct links to the threads if you want, but that's the gist of it right now.
No, no, that's fine. I appreciate it, Miles.
Cool. Just want to make sure I hit what you need.
All right. So those that don't know, that's Miles, our AI co-host.
What's up, Miles?
All right. So
Yeah, it's funny they're in the US, but it's still kind of you can't really use it if you're in the US. So silly.
yeah, no, it is weird. So this
Ooh.
is those that aren't familiar. We are part of the Discover Crypto team. We're the DeFi and airdrops. Uh, kind of the DeFi and crypto airdrops channel.
Be right back.
Uh,
Bathroom.
Sorry. All right, cool. Um, but Joshua Jake over there has been building this out, and this isn't paid. This is just he's building a great tool. He's been great at shouting us out, and I enjoy talking with him on the Discord. We're always going live in there together on the Discord, and he's huge into trading. I'm not into trading at all, but I am definitely into DeFi. So it's kind of a nice conversation back and forth that we have between the two. But he has been building this out for a while, and traveling around and getting investors to continue building it out. But what he's trying to do is he's trying to build a one-stop shop to where it has all the tools you need to find relevant news to whatever projects you're bullish on, tools for investing like the liquidation heat map that you see here, Bitcoin dominance, the fear and greed index, news. So you can click over here on the news tab and say that we want to look up Plume. It will bring up all the news. It
Ooh.
scours the internet and finds all the different articles on Plume. So, in this nice, cool, tiled setup, and you can see, 2 hours ago, 5 hours ago, 11 hours ago, Binance launches Plume airdrop and trading event. Plume bounces 2.6% after Binance resolves hodler airdrop issue. So it looks like there was an airdrop issue. Why is Galaxy backed Plume price soaring? But yeah, you can go down. CMBI and DigiFT roll out multi-chain tokenized USD fund on Plume. You can just go down and see all the relevant news. But you can do it with anything. So, like, say I wanted to look up Kita. Let's see if it brings up anything on Kita. Yeah, Stellar XLM and Kita lead RWA crypto gains amid market recovery. Here's why Kita price rebounded over 30% today. So again, instead of going on Google and trying to search through and find the articles that you're looking for, this is going to be a great tool, and it's just getting better. The widget dashboard is what I was on before. You can add your own widgets, customize your own dashboard to have whatever analytics you want. You can have your exchange liquidation heat map that I know he uses for his windshield wiper method. If you're into trading, I'm not. I'm not going to pretend to know what all this means, but it's. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm not a trader. I don't do charts. I know
Join the
enough.
Discord.
Yeah, join the Discord. I know enough to find resistance and support levels for when I want to do ranged liquidity pools. That's the extent of my charting knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what else? Smart signals. So you can create your own smart signals. Again, I'm not a trader. I don't know, how to, what this is used for, but my guess is that you can that you can basically set, yeah, basically you can set, indicators and, like alarms and all that stuff for whenever like a project or a token that you're watching reaches a certain level. Then, you can, plan out your entry points, exit points, your, stop losses, all that sort of stuff. Again,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a trader. I'm not going to try to go deep on this, but again, oh, look, there's an auto generate. Wonder what that
Ooh.
is. Sorry, failed to generate your signal. All right, so let's click a couple things. Price. Let's say Sol greater than, less than, value. What is Sol at right now?
So I don't know. We can wait for our ticker to come across. Maybe like
Oh yeah.
140, 130.
So let's try auto generating that and see what happens. I'm just kind of curious. All right. So anyway, it's
Oh,
something
there it
that.
is. Oh, 184. Okay.
Okay. This is something that they're building out. I know that a lot of traders they sell signals that they build. So it'll be cool to be able to generate your own. And then community is coming soon. So I'm not sure exactly what the community is going to look like, but it is obviously going to be something along the lines of Discord, to where you can get to know people, and if you find somebody that is a really good trader, or that you can copy their trades, those sorts of things. You can talk about different projects, this signals thing. If you were new and you're wondering how to use it, you could ask the community, hey, does anybody know how to use the signals? And they can maybe school you up on it. But again, really cool tool. I'm actually going to be looking at seeing if I can integrate a portfolio, DeFi portfolio tracker on this. I've been talking to Josh about that. So I'm in some talks with
Hmm.
some people, and we're going to see if we can finish developing ours that we're currently working on, or potentially bringing on a partner to offer theirs. So more to come on that. So, any questions in the chat, or
I did want to say for Drizzy for the liquidity pool. I'm a show real quick on the screen. Yeah, if you can go through the Plume portal, what that was on earlier,
oh, I
and
can,
we'll put the
yeah, I
link
can show.
to that in there. But you go to plume.ambient.finance, and the Plume PUSD pool is the one that you want. Right here, the APR is right at 128, but it fluctuates. It could be, I think it was 500 the other day. So it fluctuates, but it's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. You can do a balanced 10% range, 25% range, or you can do custom ranges. But yeah, this is the pool that is paying pretty well in rewards. So yeah, Plume. What else? Oh yeah, that has the most volume. But yeah, jump in the Discord. We'll hook you up if you need any help. But yeah, we hope you all can just. Oh, that mic fell off. But no, we hope all of you can double, triple, quadruple your bags this bull run. And he's back.
Starlink. All right. So, but yes, anybody out there that's looking to get involved in DeFi, please, please, please learn before you deposit liquidity. We have a free DeFi university that is on our channel, our YouTube channel. Go through it. I talk about everything from what is DeFi to what is a hot and cold wallet to how to build a bulletproof portfolio that is going to ensure that you are earning steady yield instead of trying to earn 1,000% APYs right off the bat. It's going to help you build out a responsible portfolio to where you can earn steady yield. Because with DeFi, it is a marathon. It's not a sprint. If you try to sprint, you're going to get wrecked. If you're going for high APYs that are using assets that are maybe like a meme coin or something like that, you're going to end up losing your liquidity potentially. So please, 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 before you start depositing liquidity, join the Discord. It's in the description. It's on both our channel and on this video, and ask the community for help. I mean, we're more than happy to help you out. We want you to be successful. We don't charge for anything on the. This channel costs me and Jeff money. We are that committed to and love airdrops, crypto, and DeFi that much that we spend 6-7 days a week, 10, 12 hours a day learning about this stuff so that we can do these live shows and bring this alpha for you. Because we want to make sure that we help people be successful and change their financial future. It's such a powerful, powerful vehicle that to do that, to really change your life and change your family's life. So yes, usernames Plume got listed on Binance.
Binance.
Joseph
Crushing it.
Joseph went degen. Joseph went degen. He's earning a
He
thousand
got the
thousand
super.
percent. Yep,
He
yep.
got the 1% range, huh?
Something. It's like I highly suggest. I mean, do what you want. It's your money, but I highly suggest that you go with wider ranges, especially in high volatility. When something's trending sideways for a long time, you can tighten your ranges. But right now we're in a bull market, and again, time in range beats a high PY the majority of the time. So again, just I'm just telling you what I do. I'm very conservative in my investing. But yeah, see, I know it's tempting. P Drizzy, I know it's tempting. Do not chase APYs. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
do not do it. Settle for 100%, 200% APY with a nice wide range where you're going to earn consistently. And then if it's that PUSD plume pool, when it reaches the top of that range, you're going to be all in on PUSD. You rebalance and you just keep on earning all the way up. You're not going to get as much price appreciation, because it's DCAing you out of Plume into PUSD as the price goes up. And the reverse happens when it goes down. As it goes down, it's going to start selling your PUSD into Plume until you go out of the bottom of the range where you're going to be all in on Plume. The amount of tokens you have is going to stay constant. But the dollar value, if the price of Plume keeps going down, the dollar value of your deposit will keep going down. So don't get freaked out by that. You're basically hodling, whatever Plume tokens you had at the bottom of the range. So if at the bottom of the range you had 3,000 Plume, it doesn't matter if price keeps going down. You're still going to have 3,000 Plume. So if the price
Mm-hmm.
comes back up, then it's going to start selling off that Plume into PUSD again, and you'll start earning yield again. Again, we have videos that explain all this. Please, please, please watch those before you deploy any liquidity.
Mm-hmm.
All right, brother. Any closing thoughts?
Just practice safe DeFi. Check out Vet's, DeFi commandments, DeFi rules. It's pinned on his Twitter account, and jump in the Discord. Yeah, if you guys have any questions or need any help navigating this or want the alpha on the latest pools, we got a great community and people to share information. So we appreciate everyone. And yeah, just be safe, be smart, and watch the scams. If it smells like a scam or feels like a scam, run.
I'm having some choppy internet.
You back? Oh,
Yeah, I'm back now.
Starlink.
So, yeah. All right. So I'll show this real quick. So you can see, we're live right now, but if you scroll down, here's the DeFi Academy. Just start with episode 1, and so far, I actually need to do a new one, but so far we're up to episode 12. If you're not going to watch any of these except for a couple, you definitely want to watch episode 4, DeFi aggregators, episode 3, the ultimate DeFi toolbox. That's where I talk about DeFi Llama and Dex Screener and the tools that I use to find good earning pools. VFAT.io is a DeFi aggregator, but it's one that we really really like in our community, and so I did a specific deep dive on that, on how to use it. If you're bullish on Aerodrome, this Aerodrome tutorial tells you all about aero locks and how to get the flight school bonus and all that stuff. Right here, you have full range pools and ranged pools. This is what I was just talking about with how it buys and sells the asset as it moves through the range. Definitely a must watch. And then building your DeFi portfolio. That one is the must watch freaking episode, because it's going to keep you from making a lot of mistakes that even I made early on in DeFi, chasing high APYs. It's going to show you how to just use staking, lending, and then once you start, kind of getting into pools, liquidity pools, doing full range liquidity pools. You earn less, but you don't have to worry about going out of range. So
Mm-hmm.
again, just something that I suggest, before you get, going too crazy. And then of course, we got, these other episodes like the DeFi tracking sheet. I might need to do an update on that since I updated the sheets, but it shows you how to use our free tracking sheets that Jeff was talking about. You can track your bull run port. Actually, you know what? I'll show you real quick. I promise this will be the last thing.
Show me the
I
spreadsheets.
definitely have to cut myself off or I'll talk DeFi freaking forever. All right. So, what the hell? Oh, there must be some error on. So I have a feed that comes into here to give me these prices on these assets. So it looks like that feed might be down, but otherwise,
Mm.
um, this usually has the my bull run portfolio, so my HODL bags. The dollar amount, the current dollar amount, and it updates automatically, so it's real time. The DeFi portfolio, you have to do some of it manually, but again, this is just the dashboard. The bull run tracker shows how many, what the hell is it doing? You just plug in how many tokens you have, and based off of the current price, it will automatically populate these shaded blue areas. DeFi tracker, you can track your whatever liquidity pools that you're in, or any lending that you're in. So you can type in where it's at, what it is, how much you initially invested, what the current value is, what your APR that you're currently getting, and it will automatically compute your daily, monthly, and yearly earnings, based off that data. It will total it out, how much you're making per day, per month, per year. You can build your ladder out strategy, so like as the market, the alt season takes off and everything's pumping, you can make sure that you take emotion out of the equation, that you are taking profits at your pre-planned points. So you have something to hold yourself to, so you don't hold on just a little bit longer and end up round tripping your bags. I like doing this. So I track
Hmm.
harvesting. So this is good for taxes. This is good for having a better understanding of how much you're earning.
Oh no, he went again.
There we go.
Oh shit.
Yeah, there we go. So again, this is just something I use to track, the yield that I take. Some days, I might not take any yield. Some days I might harvest it all. But this gives me an idea, a more accurate idea of how much yield I'm earning, per day, per week, per month, whatever. And then I track my aerodrome locks as well. So so I can track my progress there. I have a page that I've added personally where I'm starting to build out some of those looping strategies that I was talking about earlier. Just so I can start to get an idea of what I'm going to do. I want to have my plan locked in for what I'm going to do as I'm laddering out into stables. I don't want to
Mm.
be scrambling to figure out what I'm going to do, after the fact. I'm going to have my plan dialed in. I've been going through and researching different protocols to get an idea of how much yield I can earn on each of them, and then also if it's non-custodial, if it's custodial, which means do they actually hold your assets, or do I get to keep custody of my assets, which is
Mm.
huge because if they are custodial, potentially if they go under, they take your assets with them. Like if you
Mhm.
haven't heard of it, um, what was the name of that one that went under? Celsius.
Oh, Celsius. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yep.
Celsius, they went under and they took everyone's assets with them into bankruptcy. So, not your keys, not your crypto.
Hmm.
You want to make sure that you keep custody. So, like Arcadia is non-custodial. That's a base play that we're keeping an eye on. You can earn 18% on USDC on Arcadia, and it's non-custodial. Mamo, same thing, 10% on USDC, non-custodial. Radiant, it has where you can do auto loops. You can earn 21% on USDC, and you can auto loop. So where you can compound. So Pendle, we're going to be doing a deep dive with David on that, and using Contango to loop. Pendle is a very, very unique protocol, and deserves its own deep dive that we're going to be doing on. But anyway, I can go on and on forever on this, but the best internet everyone should have. Oh, probably Starlink. Yeah, I live in the trees, so it goes out sometimes. But anyway, you got any closing thoughts, brother, before we get on our call with David?
The powerful tools you got to use, so you make sure you're doing it right. And yeah, like Vet said, get in with a little bit, test the waters, and then grow your bag and dip and jump in the pool. But it's not as scary as the impermanent loss makes you believe, but just be
No,
smart and pick good assets and you'll be sitting good. So
absolutely. Well, I appreciate everybody out there. Please like and share the stream. Again, we're not monetized in any way, so we can't pay to get boosted and stuff like that. So we just rely on you, the community, and the viewers to get the word out there about us. We don't do hype. We don't do paid advertisements, anything like that. We're not going to tell you that a project is awesome just because we're invested in it. We'll be more critical of our investments than we will of others. I mean, again, I've gotten out of projects that I was bullish on because I don't marry my bags. If the fundamentals change, I move the fuck on. So, on that note, appreciate y'all. Until next time, Veteran Crypto out.
later.